I remember when I was very young, I would say about maybe 3, maybe 4, I was on the floor in the kitchen and I was crying. I was going, ah, I don't know why I was crying, but I was flaying my hands and laying on my back. And my sister came up to me and she said, and I have to tell you, this was in December. She came up to me and she said, you know, Santa Claus is probably watching you right now. And I looked up to the ceiling because I was laying on my back. And there was a little vent hole there. It had a frame around it, and it was for letting the fumes in the kitchen to go up into the attic. And Santa Claus was looking down like that at me through that vent. And as soon as I looked up, he went like that. And boy, did I stop crying right then and there. That was the end of that crying.
To be under 10.
I think the most memorable thing and the most magical, most exciting, and scary also was when the man landed on the moon. And I remember when we were kids, we used to sit and look up at the moon, wonder what was up there, what did it look like, and now I couldn't believe a man actually landed on the moon. And you know, now when I outside and I look up that moon, I just can't believe that somebody actually landed on it. So that was the most magical thing.
One Sunday morning when I was 6 years old, I awoke to the sounds of boys running up and down the street yelling, "Extra, extra, United States is at war." I thought war was between cowboys and Indians, and I had no idea what was coming. I really don't remember the details of the war. My life remained pretty much unchanged except for rationings. But 4 years later, when I was 10, we had company on the weekend to help my mother paint the house. And there was announcing the war in Europe was over, and they were announcing all day long that the Japanese war was coming to an end. And our friend George, who was a drinking man, had a drink every time as he went along painting. And as they announced the end of the war, George proceeded to paint my mother's bottom. When my father came home that night, we drove to town to the Pioneer to get tamales. Downtown was filled with servicemen and people, and they were all hugging each other. The part that came next was the best for me, because a couple of weeks later, the lights came back on. The lights had been turned out during the war. Everything was kept dark. We went to town, and all the street lights were on again. And all the neon lights. The Fox Theater was so beautiful. I had never seen anything so magical. And I'd never seen so many happy people.
Just remember, all these magical moments are mine too, because all these people are members of my family. And here's a magical moment for you.